Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. My name is Giggle Guru. As I say in my short videos for Laughter Yoga, and my name is Angelique, but I also go by Giggle Guru. Today's Wellness Wednesday video, I want to talk about labyrinths. And a labyrinth is similar to a maze, but the difference is it has no dead ends. So we don't have to make any decisions. There's no turns that we have to make a decision, left or right, go straight. It is one simple pathway that you walk into the center. You stay there for as long as you need to help with the guidance or the intuition, to connect with your intuition, to look for that insight that perhaps you're asking a question for, needing some guidance on. You stay in the center for as long as you need to, then you follow the same pathway out. I got interested in labyrinths when I was at a workshop. There was a woman that was hosting, and she was coming in always throughout the day to make sure that we had coffee and tea and muffins and all the things. And I seen that she just looked like she was a bit disheveled. And I said to her the one day, I was like, wow, like you're working really hard outside on something. And she said, well, I'm making a labyrinth. We're cutting out the grass and we're making a labyrinth. And I was like, what is a labyrinth? And it got me very curious. And so she explained it to me. And when I arrived back home to my town, I began to ask around if there's labyrinths anywhere in town that I could walk. Nowhere in town could I walk a labyrinth. So years of trying to ask people. Every time it was out, conversation would come up, I would ask, and it seemed like it was a dead end. And then one day I found that there was a labyrinth in a local church, and it's a non-denominational thing. There's no religious status. You can be of no denomination to walk a labyrinth. You don't have to be of some religious status to do this. This is a meditative walk. And so I would go there, and I went there for several years walking that labyrinth every Wednesday. It was a very, very powerful tool for me. And I brought some friends and some family members with me, and I saw some big shifts happen with them as well. And knowing that I couldn't always do this, there's holidays, there's days where, you can't be walking the inside. So I wanted to learn how to draw a labyrinth. And so I learned how to do drawing a finger labyrinth that I could use my finger to follow around and have the same outcome, but without walking with my feet. I would just follow it as the pattern with my finger. And so doing some investigating on YouTube here, I found some videos that showed how to draw some complex ones, some simple ones. And so I learned through them how to draw labyrinths. And then there's also labyrinths, I think it's labyrinthsociety.org. There's some more stuff you can find out there. But labyrinths were a tool that perhaps was used, it was used for pilgrimages way back in the day when individuals weren't able to walk these big long pilgrimages. They would go into this labyrinth at the front of a cathedral, or sometimes they'd be in the front of castles. And there's lots of history that can be shared about labyrinths, and you can find that on labyrinthsociety.org. They would go and they would walk, and a lot of people would say that, so I've read that there was this like moment when they hit the center, and there was just like, it was a magical experience for them. And so the first time I walked a labyrinth, I was expecting to have this magical experience, and it just didn't happen that way. But over time, I allowed myself to not be so concrete in that I needed this outcome to be this specific way. And I was able to then explore what the labyrinth could offer me in a much more open mindset, and I got a lot more out of it that way. So you start your labyrinth walk by setting an intention, taking a few deep breaths, and then you begin to follow this pathway into the center. And then once you arrive in the center, you stay there for as long as you need to. Perhaps you will get some intuitive guidance or a message, feel like you've got something that, okay, there's some clarity around what I was asking for my intention, and then you follow the same pathway out. And at the end, I would like to just sit and reflect and look out the window. You can journal as well afterwards if that's something that you're interested in doing, or something that you do have in your toolbox of things that you enjoy. That's something you can also do, is to do some journaling after. And so without further ado, let me teach you. Grab a piece of paper and a pen or pencil. I always like to do it with pencil, or with pen, not pencil. When I teach my classes, I give everyone pens, and they're always like, well, that's not fair. I want a pencil because I want to erase. And I'm like, this helps us to teach that it's okay to have mistakes. We can cross that off and learn again and keep going until we have it. So I have a pencil today because that's all I have with me right now, but you can grab a piece of paper and a pen and put me on pause until you get that. Okay, so now you're back. Thank you for grabbing that. We're gonna start near the bottom part of the paper. I'm going to show you how to draw a very, very simple labyrinth today. And if you're curious about how to draw more, you can always find some more information on YouTube here, or you can always reach out to me. My email is Angelique, AngeliqueDoyle13@gmail.com, and we can set something up perhaps to have a video chat or conversation about some more in-depth labyrinths. So at the very bottom of your page, you're going to draw a plus sign, just like that. And then around the outside of that, you're going to draw just 4 light dots. These are just reference points so that you have an idea of where to go to. Okay, so it's like a big square around the plus sign that's in the center. And what you're going to do is you're going to start at the top of the plus sign, and you're going to draw an upside down U and attach it to that dot. These are called your walls. So you're creating walls right now, and when you create these walls, inside you're going to create a pathway. And you'll see the pattern here in just a second. So we're going to go over from the top of the plus sign over to the next dot. And that dot is going to come all the way up and over, and it's going to meet the plus sign here. So you're going to draw an upside down U again, come all the way over and around, and connect with that plus sign. We're creating some walls. Now we're going to go to the plus sign here, and we're going to draw that all the way up and over, and we're going to join it with that dot. Again, upside down U all the way up and over and around, and join it with that dot. We've got one more wall to create. So closing off that, we're going to start with this dot and end with the bottom of the plus sign. Start that dot, upside down U, all the way around. Ooh. Come all the way up. Join the bottom of the plus sign. So you should have something that looks like this. Now I did it so my entrance is on the left-hand side, but you could do it the opposite way. You can do your U's the opposite way, and your entrance would be on the other side. It doesn't matter what way you choose. Whatever way you choose is fine. So what you do here now is you start right here at the beginning. You've created your pathways, and your pathway should have one way to the center without any dead ends. And then you have the same pathway on the way out. So beginning at your pathway, at the beginning of the pathway, you're setting your intention. Inhale. Exhale. Set your intention, and then follow the pathway ever so slowly, or maybe perhaps you go a little bit faster. You choose. All the way around to the center. Once you're in the center, your finger can stay there, your eyes can stay closed. Perhaps you take your hands down and you just sit for a minute with your eyes closed. Breathing, being open to whatever that is you need to receive. And then when you're ready, you take your finger, put it back in the center, and you follow the exact same pathway all the way out. And again, you can go slow or you can be quick, a bit faster. And as you leave, you can just take a moment to reflect and take some time to journal or reflect. And it's funny because I used to walk the labyrinth, not funny, but I used to walk the labyrinth, and this lady would come and she would go into the labyrinth and buzz in, boop, buzz right back out. And I was thinking to myself, wow, like she's so fast at walking the labyrinth. I mean, I really take my time and I'm watching my steps and I'm very mindful and all of the rest. And it took me a moment, and I just, in some reflection time, thought, you know, for some of us, life is so busy, we don't know how to slow down. It's hard, it's uncomfortable. It's a really weird feeling when we slow down. So the invitation here maybe is for you to slow down if you want to go through this fast. And maybe if life is really, really slow, maybe you feel like, oh, I need to go fast because I need to, like, want to get to the center, or want to get the answers. But maybe this is an invitation for all of us to just learn how to be mindful, whether or not we're moving our finger along a pathway or we're moving our feet. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Labyrinths, today's Wellness Wednesday video. Yeah. If you want more information, labyrinthsociety.org, or you can always connect with me. I'd love to chat with you some more about labyrinths. In my city of Medicine Hat, Alberta, there is one at Fifth Avenue Church, and I'd love to know if you have a labyrinth in your society, in your area. Drop it down in the comments. Let's support each other as a group of supportive women, sharing our wellness tools with one another. Something might spark interest to somebody else that you have in your toolbox. Drop it down in the comments and let us know what that is. And if you have any ideas for Wellness Wednesday videos, share that down there too. I'd love to know. All right, until next time, have a beautiful day. Share a smile with a stranger. And most of all, just take some time to reflect and perhaps see what the labyrinth might bring to you.